wonder, people say I'm a fool, but they never got the news that I'm a vile one. Oh yeah, I'm a vile one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel dialed, cause you're watching Vile Mike and his real wild child. Oh yeah, I'm a vile one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel dialed, cause you're watching Vile Mike and his real wild child.
Howdy folks, this is Vile Mike here, and with me of course is Caddy Knight, who recently joined the Twitterverse. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Also, follow me on Twitter, and link in the description.
This week we watched the Galileo 7, a Star Trek episode based on the 1939 movie starring Lucille Ball. 5 came back, but this time
in space.
I have never heard of that movie.
In all honesty, I doubt many people watching this video have. It is about a plane that crashed in the Amazon with about 10 survivors, but due to a bad engine, they can't take off again with more than 5 people. And one guy takes it upon himself to decide who leaves and who stays.
Nice to know that even in the 60s, they were reusing 30-year-old ideas.
Part of me wonders if one of the reasons they chose to do this movie was because it starred Lucille Ball, one of the original owners of Desilu Studios, and one of the people responsible for the making of the original Trek series.
I don't know. But the episode starts off with Kirk giving exposition log. Great. Talking about the Enterprise stopping a medical supply delivery to explore a green cloud?
Kirk tells us that that's Mirazaki 312, a quasar-like phenomena, and he's setting out a shuttle to study it because it is a Starfleet mandate to investigate all quasars and quasars-like phenomena. Ugh.
What?
This is kind of a case of science marches on. When this episode was made, quasars were a barely understood spatial phenomena, and we now know that quasars are basically supermassive black holes that emit large quantities of radio waves as matter from the accretion disk falls into the singularity.
Okay, I have no idea what that means.
It means that a quasar-like phenomena would just be a smaller black hole. Since we're watching the remastered version, we can see that it tries to rectify this by having a black hole-like thing in the middle of the image of Mirazaki's 312. But it just makes Kirk's decision to send a shuttle in even stupider.
Okay. You mean stupid like stopping to get pics of some cool green-looking cloud when there is a plague happening and people are depending on medical supplies that the Enterprise is carrying, and any delay could have hundreds or even thousands of deaths?
Yeah. Unlike today, where we would never have someone in charge act stupid or reckless in some sort of epidemic or pandemic needlessly endangering people's lives.
Dad, I am scared for the future.
Me too, sweetie. Me too. Where were we?
Kirk being an idiot.
Oh yeah. Despite the objections of the obstructive bureaucrat guy, Kirk sends out his shuttle to study the green cloud and puts Spock in charge.
Okay, I get why Spock is there. He's the science Vulcan. And Scotty is an engineer. That might be needed. McCoy makes sense because there could be an injury, I guess. But what's the point of the rest of the people on the shuttle?
You're big and hulking and wonderfully expendable.
And the yeoman?
She's probably just there because the movie the episode was based on had a woman too. Also, eye candy.
Wow, this mission was totally not poorly planned. I'm sure that means nothing will go wrong.
60 seconds into the mission, something goes wrong.
Of course. Well, Spock sends a distress signal, and the Enterprise receives the distress call. But because of all the interference, cannot pinpoint where the shuttle is. Cue credits.
After the credits, we have Kirk and the bureaucrat guy, Ferris is his name, arguing about Kirk sending the shuttle and how bad an idea it was. Kirk tries to defend his decision over a lovely cup of coffee.
Uhura says there is only one planet in the area that could support a human life, and if the shuttle could, it would have gone there.
We cut to the damaged shuttle with Spock giving orders to the crew. McCoy is tending to their medical needs.
Wait, the shuttle has a hidden compartment that is just full of phasers? Dad!
It's too early in the episode for that gag.
Fine.
Spock and McCoy talk about their chances of being found, which Spock says it's not very likely.
Kirk is just getting all kinds of bad news. Sulu can't detect anything. The transporters won't work. Uhura can't call them, and Ferris keeps reminding Kirk that they need to leave to get the medical supplies delivered.
Then Kirk orders a second shuttle to launch to help with the shirt. Did I really say shirt?
Yes, you did.
Then Kirk orders a shuttle to launch to help. You need to stop laughing. I realize I screwed up the line. You need to stop laughing so I can record my line.
In my head, I had a picture of, like, as this is playing, just like a shirt appearing on screen. We're keeping that in the goddamn video.
Then Kirk orders a second shuttle to... She still can't stop laughing.
On screen, attempt 1, attempt 2, attempt 3.
Then Kirk orders a second shuttle to launch to help the search. Scotty says they don't have much fuel left, which is some decent continuity as the shuttle from Menagerie also ran out of fuel quickly. But he says they would have to lose something like 500 pounds to make orbit again. Pounds though, Scotty? Come on, this is the future. We all know metric rules.
Spock says about the weight of 3 men, which is weird, and says they cannot leave the stuff from the shuttle because everything on the shuttle is needed. So 3 people from the shuttle will have to be left behind.
Spock says that since he's in command, he will have to decide who stays when the time comes. But Boma, that's this guy, suggests drawing lots, which, while that would seem to be fairer, it's reasons like this there is a command structure in place, and sometimes that means making hard choices, even ordering people to their deaths. Spock is 100% right here.
We move to the 2 other guys searching the planet, when they hear a strange sound which seems to be coming from all around them.
And one of them gets a giant spear to the back, killing him.
Well, that's at least one person that can be left behind.
Spock acts indifferently to the death, which kind of pisses off the others. This guy wants to bring the dead guy's body back to the shuttle, which he and Boma do.
Back on the bridge, Kirk still isn't getting good news. He ends up making a strange suggestion to get the transporters working. Overlord the power!
I'm not sure I would want a device that takes me apart molecule by molecule, converting it to energy and sending it through space to be involved with anything overloading.
Again, not a good idea. We go back to the shuttle where Scotty and Spock are working on repairs. When McCoy and the Yeoman says they have been able to reduce the shuttle's weight by 150 pounds, which was said they couldn't do earlier?
Then Boma chimes in again, saying that they're ready for funeral services for the dead guy. Spock declines, as his time is better served repairing the shuttle, as they have a limited amount of time before the Enterprise leaves. While this does seem callous, Spock is again right. If they don't fix the shuttle, they are all dead. Taking the time to bury a guy is a waste of frickin' time that they don't have.
McCoy doesn't like that, but screw him! Because Spock is the best!
We have a brief scene to learn that the shuttle sprang a leak and actually has no fuel at all now. But it's cut short because it seems that the giant alien cavemen are now surrounding the shuttle.
Boma and Guantano say they should go on the attack, making the giant aliens think twice about attacking them. Well, Spock sees the logic in that. He does not feel it necessary to kill the aliens, and orders only to fire to frighten them, not to kill.
The plan works and the giant alien cavemen flee. Spock leaves to finish his repairs on the shuttle, leaving Boma and Guantano to act as guards.
Scotty has a plan. He thinks he can dump the power from the phasers into the shuttle to give them enough power to leave. Wait, phasers have enough energy to power a shuttle? I swear! These things are like future Swiss Army knives in a ray gun form. Dad?
No!
Please?
maybe for the 4th of July.
Yay!
The problem is, the phasers are the only defense they have from the cavemen aliens.
Spock gives the order to dump the phaser power anyway, reminding them that they only have a limited time before the Enterprise leaves.
Back on the ship, Kirk finally gets some good news. The transporters are working. So Kirk orders some search teams to beam down. But on the planet, Guantanamo is attacked by the aliens. Cue commercial break.
This channel is sponsored by SD GameSwap. If you're into nerd stuff, you might find something you like there. They have books, movies, video games, toys and collectibles, and they even do consignment. They are also on Facebook, so go buy something. Links in the description.
Avoid super battle droids, but not the super dealers at SD GameSwap.
Back from commercial break, Spock, McCoy, and Boma find Guantanamo's phaser. And because Spock is best character, he says he will go alone to look for Guantanamo. It looks like he's dead.
A possible death by Snoo.
Death! By Snoo!
I love how Spock just looks at Guantanamo's body. Like he can't believe this guy was stupid enough to get himself killed. Spock still picks up his body and takes it with him.
The caveman alien throws some more spears. Really badly though, like they're just being tossed by gaffers from just off camera. And wait, did that one hit a rock and then bounce off Spock?
Maybe it hit Guantanamo? Finally doing something useful. Being a meat shield for best character.
Spock gets to the shuttle, but it is soon attacked. And Spock is confused about how illogical the giant cavemen are acting.
I hate to say it, but this one time Spock might be wrong. Not everyone behaves logically. You should not assume that an alien would act like a human, or a Vulcan for that matter.
Scotty needs at least an hour to finish dumping the phaser power, so they need to come up with a plan.
Spock comes up with using the shuttle's batteries to electrify the hull, which scares off the aliens.
Once again, the aliens are gone. Bomo wants to give Guantanamo a burial, as they need to leave his body behind too now. What the hell is wrong with Boma? The aliens could be back at any time, and they need to do everything they can to get off the planet, but he again wants to waste time burying a body. He's acting insubordinate and stupid. But Spock just lets him go bury the body anyway, because he's apparently useless anyway.
Do you think he may have just been letting him do that because Boma might get himself killed too? And thus would end arguing with Spock?
I doubt it, but I wouldn't blame him if that's why he let Boma go do it.
On the ship, Kirk gets a report from one of the search parties. They were getting attacked by cavemen aliens, 2 injured and 1 dead. So 3 dead in total of this episode. Make sure to add them to the counter!
The bureaucrat guy comes in to tell Kirk that he's out of time, that they have to get the medical supplies to the plague victims. Kirk begins to beam up the rest of the search parties and recalls the second shuttle. When the shuttle lands, he orders the Enterprise to leave as slowly as possible.
Just as they are about to leave and finishing up the burial from Guantanamo, they are attacked by the giant cavemen aliens, who miss everyone with their spears, but pins Spock with a big rock. Spock tells them to leave him, but McCoy and Boma help free him, because they know he is best character.
Once on board the shuttle, they try to lift off, but because the aliens are all over it, weighing it down, Spock is forced to use the boosters to take off, using much of the precious little power they have left to make orbit.
They barely make it to orbit, but in about 45 minutes they'll fall back to the planet and burn up. After a snarky comment from McCoy about Spock being wrong, Spock ends up having an idea. He dumps the rest of the remaining fuel and ignites it.
This creates a burning plasma trail from the shuttle, kind of like a signal flare, showing their position. But it cuts the time before they'll burn up from 45 minutes to just 6 minutes. It works though. Sulu sees the flare, Kirk orders the Enterprise to head back, and though the shuttle begins to burn up, the transporters are able to beam up the surviving crew before the shuttle's destroyed.
A little while later, on the bridge, Kirk and McCoy give Spock crap about acting in desperation, and how that it was an emotional decision. Spock tries to explain how it was logical, but they just laugh at him. End of this fucking episode.
Wow, this episode has its problems. Adapting the plot of the movie could have been a good idea, but its execution was poorly done. The reason that Kirk sent the shuttle out was kind of contrived, and the medical situation was added to make sure they had a time limit. It just made the whole thing stupid because that means Kirk was willing to delay needed medical supplies for a plague to go do some science. This kind of makes Kirk the bad guy in my opinion.
Yeah, Ferris might have been an ass, but he was right about everything. Just do your scans of the space cloud after you deliver your supplies.
Yeah, especially in context with this whole COVID-19 crisis going on right now, at least at the time of this review. It would look like a delivery of respirators was being delayed because, oh look, a new species of squirrel.
Squirrel!
Alright, so what did you think of the episode?
Well, in context, Spock was bright nearly all of the time. Trying to do burials in the middle of a fight is a completely idiotic idea. But when it came down to the aliens being attacked, you would think they wouldn't actually think out logically about, like, oh, let's wait. It's more likely that they are going to retaliate, since most creatures are acting on emotional responses. But also the fact that Spock is given crap about having an outburst of emotion. But seriously, it was probably one of the most logical ideas. Would you rather sit 45 minutes and not be seen, and you know you're not going to be seen, or create one big flare that is highly likely that's going to make you be seen?
Well, that's it for this episode, folkses. We'll see you next time when we watch something that I forgot to look up because I'm stupid. The Squire of Gothos.
Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye-bye!
Oh, and as a reminder, Caddy's now on Twitter. Links in the description.
Follow me! Kirk is just getting all the kinds of bad news.
All kinds of bad news.
Getting all the kinds of... Kirk is just...
Not all the kinds, it's all kinds. That's even what it says. You're the one misreading the script.
Off!